mine could whip both of yours.
All right. We're going to study the book of Judges. Go to Judges 3, all right, and verse 15. Let's start off in Judges 3:15. We're going to kind of skip and run through this. We're not going to study everything about it, but I want to hit some highlights that are very important. What happened in the book of Judges? What is the story of the book of Judges? Do you remember? The story of the book of Judges. Anybody remember?
Tell us what you want us to say and we'll say it.
Well, now, brother, you haven't been here. See, now I'm giving them a test.
Oh.
But they're supposed to know this. Brother Bill. Okay, Israel would sin. God would judge, and then God would send a judge or a savior to them. A savior, a helper, to drag them out of the sin. And that's what's happened. They sin, and they get in trouble. Now, here we have in Judges 3 and verse 15. Let's look at the fat cats here. All right? 3 and verse 15. Now, Israel had sinned. All right? And in verse 12 it says, "Now the sons of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, and because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. And he gathered to himself the sons of Ammon and Amalek, and he went and defeated Israel, and they possessed the city of palm trees." What is that city?
Jericho.
Jericho. All right. The city of palm trees. Jericho. Thank you very much. I knew you knew that. All right. And then we have a guy raised up by the name of Ehud. All right, Ehud. Let's look at old Ehud. Now, in your books, in your own page, I think it's 63, where it starts. Now, we had Othniel. By the way, let's look at Othniel just for a minute before we go by there. Othniel. Remember who the first judge was? Othniel. Judges 3, 5 through 11. All right. When the Mesopotamians had come against them. Who was Othniel? Remember, his name is God is Force. But who was he? Do you remember?
First judge.
Well, he's the first judge, all right. This was Caleb's younger brother. Think about that for a while. This is Caleb. Othniel is Caleb's younger brother. Okay? Now we have Ehud, which means strong. Okay? Strong. About 1336 BC. All right? Now we gave those to you last week in your little outline. And that's an extra book you're going to have, Rebecca.
Okay.
All right? Ehud, he comes on the scene. Now, Ehud and his cronies, they have got fat. All of these guys were fat. My neighbor down the street, Clarence Eldridge, I used to work for him on the garbage route. And we'd go pick up garbage. I worked on what they call the slop wagon, okay? We wanted to pick people's garbage up when I was a young person. And we'd go around all over. And when we go up on the upper crust of Bakersfield, he'd call that's where the fat cats live. Where the fat cats live. So we'd go up there and we'd see the fat cats' houses. And boy, did they throw away good stuff. Because they were fat cats, okay? They were rich. And you'd be surprised what they got on. They threw away in those rich houses. Sometimes they throw away a Patek Philippe watch or a Rolex or something. I mean, you'd be surprised, okay? But now these people here, that Ehud was going to go against, they are fat cats. They are very rich. They are so rich, collecting money and abusing Israel, that they're all fat guys. They're all sitting around just eating the fine foods of the land. And Israel's getting skinny, like Bill's name used to be Skinny. All right. They're getting skinny, and Eglon and all these people are getting to be fat cats. All right? So now in verse 15, are you over there in verse 15 there, Rebecca? All right.
And when the children of Israel cried out to the Lord raised up a deliverer for them, Ehud the son of Gera, the Benjamite, a left-handed man.
All right, he's left-handed. Guess what kind of handed I am? Am I left or right-handed? Run it on? Left-handed.
Oh.
If you ever see me shooting or working, I'm always left-handed. right, left, or right-handed. Doesn't matter. But anyway, he's a left-handed man like me, Ehud. Usually a left-handed man is an unusual man. He is, remember who David's greatest warriors were? They was a left-handed guy. All right, they were very good. All right. All right, Gera the Benjamite, a left-handed man, and the sons of Israel sent tribute by Eglon, the king of Moab. All right. Brother Blanton, do you have your Bible open there? No? No? Kathy, have you got your Bible open?
I do.
Oh, you do. At 16. 3 and verse 16.
Remember the last time you said I do? You said you never would say it again.
I will read. Now, Ehud had made a double-edged sword about 1.5 feet long.
All right. About 1.5 feet long, about 27 inches or so, what? 27, 28-inch sword.
Which he strapped to his right thigh under his clothing.
All right. Now, he strapped it to his leg. This sounds like the mafia, doesn't it?
Concealed weapon.
That's a concealed weapon. All right. This guy, like he's in the mafia, all right? He's in God's mafia, I guess. All right, brother Mike. Number 17. And here's the fat cat.
Did she read where, or he read where he bound it on his right thigh under his cloak?
Yes.
And he presented the tribute to Eglon, king of Moab. Now Eglon was a very fat man.
Now, Eglon was a fat man, and all the other guys were fat cats. Okay, these are the fat cats. All right. But Dr. John there, number 18.
And when he had finished presenting the tribute, he sent away the people who had carried the tribute.
Okay, number 19, brother Floyd.
But he himself turned back at the sculptured stones near Gilgal and said, I have a secret message for you, O king. And he commanded silence. And all the attendants went out from his presence.
All right. Brother David.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
20.
Number 20.
And Ehud came to him while he was sitting alone in his cool roof chamber. And Ehud said, I have a message from God for you. And he arose from the seat. And Ehud stretched out his left hand, took the sword from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly.
Oh, this is a gruesome sound in here. Sister Andino. All right, now he's getting ready to gut him.
It took a 27-inch sword.
Yeah. Now, the reason for the double-edged sword is he's going to drive her deep. All right. It's on both sides of that sword is a sharp edge. Now, okay. Sister Andino, number 22.
Even the hilt went in after the blade, and the fat cloth over the blade, for he did not draw the dagger out of his belly, and his entrails came out. Oh,
All right.
gruesome.
Gruesome. This is
Little
gruesome.
liposuction.
Yeah, boy. All right. And 23, Rebecca.
Then Ehud went through the porch and shut the doors of the upper room behind him and locked them.
All right. And now what happened here is they came along later on. They say the doors are locked, so he's in there doing some private things, so let's leave him alone. And finally, later on, they came in there, and he was dead. Dead. All right. Now let's go on down here and verse number 26. Verse number 26, Sister Andino.
But Ehud had escaped while they delayed, and passed beyond the stone images, and escaped to Sirah.
Yeah, Sirah. Now, he went by the idols. Remember, they had lots of idols around here now. They had lots of idols. Brother John there, 27.
And it happened when he arrived that he blew the trumpet in the mountains of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mountains, and he led them.
Okay, keep on going.
Then he said to them, Follow me, for the Lord has delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. So they went down after him, seized the lords of the Jordan leading to Moab, and did not allow anyone to cross over.
All right. Now we come, and it says here in verse number 30, Brother Floyd.
29.
You skipping 29?
Well, yeah. Well, go ahead and read 29 too.
And they killed at the time about 10,000 of the Moabites, all strong, able-bodied men. Not a man escaped. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest for 80 years.
All right. Now that word robust and valiant men there, they were all fat. They were not, there wasn't a skinny one among them. They were all fat, living off of the Israelites, okay? Every one of them. All right? Not a skinny man among them. But now God brings them all down, and they had rest for 80 years. And now we have in verse number 31. All right? 331. Let's look at this one now. Now we have another guy, 331. His name is Shamgar. All right, Shamgar. You remember what Shamgar means? Cupbearer or servant. All right, cupbearer or personal servant. Okay? And he was about 1326. It also means to flee, or one that is fleet of foot. All right? To run. All right? Now, Judges 331. Now let's look and see what it says about old Shamgar here. Shamgar, Brother Bill.
After him was Shamgar, the son of Anab, who killed 600 men of the Philistines with an ox goad, and he also delivered Israel.
All right, now what does this sound like?
Like a tough guy.
Huh?
Like a tough guy.
He was a pretty rough old boy, wasn't he?
Rough old boy.
Yeah, pretty rough old boy. He killed how many men with an ox goad?
600.
600 men with an ox goad. Now this kind of, what?
What's an ox goad?
It is a stick that you carry, a rod, okay? Now what they would do is when they were driving ox, either behind a plow or a wagon, whatever they were pulling, or a cart, and they would take this goad, and they would, when the ox, they would kind of guide it. You know, they'd kind of jab him on one side, jab him on the other side, get him to go or whatever. And if, remember when, I think the Lord said to Paul, he said, how long will you kick against the goad? All right? What happens, sometimes they would poke the ox right here, and it's a sharp stick. And when you kick against the goad, what happens? You get punctured. All right? Well, it's a goad like that. Now, this man took an ox goad, and he killed how many men? 600 men. This is another Samson, isn't it? All right, now, how many of you ever thought about this one? This guy, did you ever hear about Shamgar before? Well, he said, this guy, God gave him power. And with an ox goad, this wasn't a double-edged sword now, sharp on both sides. This wasn't a battle axe like the Vikings used. This was a stick. Something that you would guide out. He went out there with that stick and whooped 600 Philistines. Now the Philistines were big dudes anyway, weren't they? They were pretty big people, these Philistines. So he went out there. God gave Shamgar the power to go out and whip these people. Now let's go and we're going to look about some more things. In verse, the 4th chapter, all right, we have Deborah and Barak, 4:1-24. 4:1-24. Deborah and Barak. Now what does Deborah mean? You got a granddaughter named Deborah, don't you? All right, what does that mean? Deborah.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. That's one name. All right. Because what now? How many? Brother Mike, you remember what that
down.
You wrote it down, didn't you? Okay, what's it mean?
Bee or wasp.
Bee or wasp. Now, bee or a wasp, okay? Deborah means bee or wasp. All right. Now, how many of you have been stung by a wasp? They're a little bit rough, aren't they? They are really, really, I mean, those dudes, when they sting you, you think they're 7 foot tall. When one of those things gets you, I remember right after my cancer surgery, I went outside in the backyard. I had to go get in the building out there. I wanted something in there. I had something to do with the radio or whatever. I think I was looking for one of my handheld 2-meter rigs or something, and I need a battery for it or whatever. And I went out there and lifted the handle on this door into the storage container, and when I pulled it up, a great big wasp nest or hornet nest fell that was about this big, fell right on me, and they stung me all down the arm, and I could hardly walk. And I took off running. I jumped this far. You think a herd of wild alligators were after me. Boy, and I mean, I hurt. That thing stung me all up and down my arms, and boy, that was miserable. Terrible. Well, Deborah, bee or a wasp. Those little rascals have got some very toxic poison in them. And they can work you over on both ends. They can bite you and sting you at the same time. One of them hit me in the face one time. How many of you ever heard of an African bee? The killer bees? On my face, I have a scar from a killer bee hitting me in the face. They'll go right after you. It hit me in the face, and it bit me there like that and stung me. And you can see the 2 marks where it bit me and where it stung me just like that. And it left a scar on my face. Now, if a whole bunch of them would have got me, I mean, I got out of there. Boy, I mean, I was moving on in a hurry. But those things are powerful. They're powerful little beings. That's what Deborah was. She's small, powerful things come in small packages, all right? 4 in verse 1. Then the sons of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord, and Ehud died. All right? And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin the king of Canaan, and he who reigned in Hazor, and commander of his army was what? Sisera. All right, Sisera. And who lived in Harosheth Hagoyim. What in the world does Harosheth Hagoyim mean? All right? Let's look at that for a minute. Write this down. See, Mike, you guys take after Mike. You see how he remembers things? He's writing all these notes down. He's got his book out. He's writing all these notes now. You've got these books. If you don't have one, you can get one. Now, Harosheth. Let's look at the word Harosheth now. The root meaning of that means dumb, silent. It means a drug. It means incantation. All right? Where do many of our drugs come from? Plants. Trees. All right. Another form of this word in Hebrew, all right, it means forest or trees. All right. And then how about the word Hagoyim? Hagoyim. Hagoyim. What's that mean? Im on the end of a Hebrew word means what? Plural. All right. It means nation. The forest of the nation. How many of you, is there anything in there, in any of your study Bibles, does it say forest of the nation in there anywhere? Huh? Anybody? All right. This is 4 in verse 3. 4 in verse 3. All right. It means forest of the nation. 4 in verse 2, that is. Forest of the nation. Now let's go on. That's the name of the place. So it was a place with forests. All right. And of course, since they get drugs and things from that, that's where the root of that word comes from, okay? And then it says the sons of Israel. Look at this whole story. Rebecca, let's read that one for me.
3.
Yes, 3.
And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, for Jabin had 900 chariots of iron, and for 20 years he harshly oppressed the children of Israel.
All right, here we have a problem again. Now, they sinned, and then God allowed some dude to come along, or dudes to come along and harass them. All right? He allowed this. Okay? God, what?
They had dudes in those days?
Yeah.
That's an old term.
All right. He allowed these guys to come along and harass them. All right? These dudes. Okay? These more fat cats. All right? More fat cats living off of what they had. More people taking advantage of them. And then verse number 4 is the key verse. Okay, that's a key verse here. A key verse. Dr. John.
Now Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was judging Israel at that time.
All right, now here we got a woman. God uses a woman because the men are not doing the job.
Oh.
That's right. He uses a woman because the men have laid down on the job.
Ain't nobody can judge better than a woman, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you what, they judge strictly. I'll guarantee you that much. Women are harsh. Have you ever seen 2 or 3 women live in the same house?
Not still living.
I've seen
No.
them,
Some of them are going to die.
I've seen them try.
Yeah.
Poor old boys pay the price.
Yeah. All right. Now she is judging Israel at the time, and number 5 there, Rebecca.
And she would sit under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the mountains of Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment.
All right. All right. Now, Brother Mike.
And she sent and summoned Barak the son of Abinom and from Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, Behold, the Lord, the God of Israel, has commanded, Go and march to Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men from the sons of Naphtali and from the sons of Zebulun.
All right. Now here we have Barak, okay? What's that name mean?
Blessing.
We have got,
El Presidente.
huh?
El Presidente. Barak. Obama. Obama.
It means lightning. Okay, it also can mean to bless, but it means lightning. Okay, lightning. All right. Barak the son of Abinom from Kadesh, Naphtali, and said to him, Behold, the Lord, the God of Israel, has commanded, Go and march to Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men. All right, from the sons of Naphtali and from the sons of Zebulun. Now, I want you to write that down. Put a little asterisk out there in your Bible, because there's a problem here. All right, these are the ones where the School of Higher Criticism, biblical criticism, will come down you on this, and you've got to understand this. Okay, there's no mistake in the Bible. Even when you think there's a mistake in it, there's a reason for it. We were looking at this movie today, Star of Bethlehem. I'm going to tell you something. God is great. God is greater than we'll ever understand of this. I don't care if you study science and medicine and everything else. For the rest of your life, intensely, you will never understand how great God is. Because He's fantastic. We talked about in the book of Joshua, remember when the sons of Israel went up there and fought against the king of Jerusalem up there, Adonai, Zedek. Remember that one? Remember how God killed those people? They didn't have to fight, did they hardly? Israel didn't have to fight. How did God kill those people? He bombed them. He used meteors, hailstones coming out of the heaven, and they did not hit God's people, they only hit the enemies of Israel. Now back in eternity past, somehow or another, God put those meteors up there and set them in motion so they'd hit this earth exactly at that time. To hit only Israel's enemies. Now just think about that for a while. Now, there's a number here that says 10,000. Later on, when we look at the Song of Deborah, it's going to say there are 40,000 of them. Now, how much difference is there from 10 and 40?
4 times as much.
Huh?
4 times as much.
It's 4 times as many. Now, she said there was 40,000. You know what? There was really 40,000, but only 10,000 of them were armed. There was only 10,000 of them armed. The rest of them weren't even armed. All they had was pitchforks and hoes and shovels and whatever. That's all they had. The 10,000 of them were armed. And then it tells all about who they were later on. I just thought I'd throw that in there for good measure. How many of you knew that? Hadn't seen that one before. Okay, there you go. All right, number 7. Number 7. Brother Mike.
And I will draw out to you Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his many troops to the river Kishon, and I will give him into your hand.
All right. Now, Kathy, what did Barak say to Deborah? All right, this is Deborah's prophecy now. Now, what did he say to her? This is a very brave man. Okay?
Barak said to her, If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go.
Now that sounds like a woman.
Sound like a smart man, too.
Now, he told her, put your money where your mouth is. If this is really going to happen, you come and go with me. I'm going to find out. He wasn't quite as confident as the prophetess, was he? Sister Andino, brother, number 9.
So she said, I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, there will be no glory for you in the journey you are taking. For the Lord will Sisera into the hands of a woman.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Since you won't go on.
He backstabbed him right there. She's turning it around. That's his woman. Turning around. It's your fault. You
No.
got that caught.
Brave boy, she says, if you want me to go with you, I'll tell you what. Since a woman has to go with you to battle, I'm going to give the leader into the hands of a woman. You won't get the glory, the honor of killing the leader.
They not only had dudes, they had broads.
Yep.
What's the Hebrew word for that?
Yeah, they had broads.
Isha. Isha. All right. All right, number 10. Number 10. Rebecca.
And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh. He went up with 10,000 men under his command, and Deborah went up with him.
Remember, there's 40,000 people there, but only 10,000 are armed. Think about that. So they're calling the 40,000 10,000 because those are the ones that are armed, okay? Sister Andino, number 11.
There are many names in there that I don't know how to pronounce. I have somebody else.
Oh, you, okay, Brother Mike.
Now Heber the Kenite had separated himself from the Kenites from the sons of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, and had pitched his tent as far away as the oak in Zananim, which is near Kadesh.
All right. And number 12, and they told Sisera that Barak, the son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mount Tabor, and Sisera called together all his chariots. Not some of them, all of them. Now these chariots were powerful things. They were iron chariots, chariots of iron. They couldn't be broken down and busted up. These and this time that was like tanks. Something they were very afraid of. Like tanks. This was powerful war machines now. And 900 iron chariots, and all the people who were with them from, what is the name of that place? The Forest of the Nations. Write that down, the Forest of the Nations. To the river Kishon. Number 14 now. And Deborah said to Barak, arise. Now Deborah's giving orders here, Brother Bill.
Yep.
All right?
That's natural.
All right. For this day. All right. Joanne, could you read that for me, please? Number 14.
Then Deborah said to Barak, get ready. Today the Lord will give you victory over Sisera, for the Lord is marching ahead of you. So Barak led his 10,000 warriors down the slopes of Mount Tabor into battle.
All right, 15.
When Barak attacked, the Lord threw Sisera and all his charioteers and warriors into a panic. Then Sisera leaped down from his chariot and escaped on foot.
Oh, he ran off and left his chariot and fled on foot. You know, we have a lot of trouble out there in the country with thugs moved out there with us. And they come and run around out there and mess around on the farms, and sometimes we have to go out there and tell them, please leave the place, and then they want to fight you. We had one of them here a while back, came up to me, and he was going to kill me. I told him we better get out. I had my hand on the gun ready to shoot. All right, because I wasn't going to let him come in my yard and beat me up. He run me back in my yard, followed me, and was stressing and harassing me because I asked him to get off my property from riding his motorcycles. Well, he went out. A few months later, he went out and jumped his motorcycle and run out into a sheep herder's field out there. He was actually on one of our old pieces of property over there that we had to sell, and there were sheep out there grazing, so he cut the fence and got in there and was running the sheep to death on his motorcycle. Well, the sheep herder came up. The sheep herder came up to him and he said, get off my property. Leave these sheep alone. Oh, he got down there and he said, oh, please forgive me. I won't do this again if you'll just let me go. These are jerks, people. These are redneck jerks. Oh, please, don't do anything to me. Please spare me. Got down on his hands and knees acting like this, and then he got up and he said, I won't do it again. As long as you're here, as soon as you leave, I'll come back and do it again. Started cussing. And then threw his helmet off and his clothes off out there, you know, all this gear that he had on, and said, I'm going to kill you. Like this to the guy. That's what they do. The guy went back to his truck and got his rifle. Came out there and he says, get out of here. Like that. And the guy got so scared that he left his motorcycle and left all his helmet and everything and ran off. Bawling. Because the old boy was going to kill him. He was going to kill him. Now this guy here, he was scared too. Just like that. He's scared. He had his iron chariot. But he ran off and ran down. Now where did he go to? And Sisera fled away on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, and there was peace between Jabin the king of Azar and the house of Heber the Kenite. All right? And what happened here? Brother Mike.
What number?
18.
And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, turn aside, my master, turn aside to me. Do not be afraid. And he turned aside to her into the tent, and she covered him with a rug.
Okay, now this is an Oriental custom. When some stranger comes into your tent, if they're not the enemy, you go in there and they're laying down on the tent. By the way, the tents have rugs in them. These are beautiful wool rugs. How many of you ever seen any of those? No? All right. I've been walked on rugs that were 1,000 years old over there in the Middle East, or over 1,000 years old, maybe 2,000 years old, some of them. They last for a long time. But in these big tents, they have rugs on the ground, and then they put a rug over you and lay down. And that's what you have for a cover. All right, you lay on a rug and you got a cover over you. Now she covered him. Now this is the Oriental custom. Now you come in here and she lays him down. And then what did he say to her there, Rebecca?
19.
19.
Then he said to her, please give me a little drink of water, for I am thirsty. So she opened a jug of milk, gave him a drink, and covered him.
All right, there's more than that. All right. Let's look and see what it says here. It said, please give me a little water to drink, for I am famished. I am just famished, thirsty. I'm very thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk. This is buttermilk. 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 This is clabbered milk. All right, buttermilk. This is like yogurt. Okay, now this is something that they had. They took this spoiled milk, buttermilk, all right, and it's halfway digested already. And Marilyn, when you having trouble sleeping at night, what do you go do?
I heat up a cup of milk.
Heat up a cup of milk and drink it. Mm-hmm. And they say, the doctors say, that warm milk will help you sleep. Did you know that? All right? Warm milk will help you sleep. Now, she opened up a bottle. Now, this is a skin of milk. It's not a bottle. It's not like Dairy Queen or whatever like that. This is a skin bottle, okay, that milk was stored in, okay? A bottle of milk, and gave it to drink, and she covered him, and he said to her, stand in the doorway of the tent, and if anyone comes along and inquires of you and says, is there anyone here, you shall say what? You'll lie for me. Okay? Now, under normal conditions, this would have been perfectly okay. But here is the enemy of God's people. This woman is related to them. She is related to Israel. All right? This is Moses who? Huh? Father-in-law. All right. Here we have, now, here we have Moses' family. These are relatives of Israel, okay? And now what in the world happened here in verse number 21, Joanne?
When Sisera fell asleep from exhaustion, Jael quietly crept up to him with the hammer and tent peg, and she drove the tent peg through his temple and into the ground, and so he died.
All right. Oh, boy. It's kind of rough. We got a guy being gutted today. And now we got a woman driving a tent peg through the guy's head and driving his, he's pinned, Bill. The woman's pinned. This woman has pinned this man to the ground. He's not ever going to get up again. All right. This is some real harsh things going on. Brother
22.
Brother Floyd. Brother Floyd just read that book, A Shadow of an Indian Star, by my family, the history of my family. Now, were they rough customers?
Oh, boy.
My grandfather killed 17 men while he was a marshal in Indian Territory. Indian Territory was wide open. That's where all the outlaws ran into, was Indian Territory. When they go rob a bank or something, they came into Indian Territory. If you came into my grandfather's place, Sam Paul's Valley, you were in trouble because he went after you. He went after you. And if you didn't give up when he said you're under arrest, you had lead poisoning. As simple as that. I told you about him trying to arrest those horse thieves out there, the one named Smith out there, and he ran him up into a dead end, and he hollered out there at Smith. He said, "You're under arrest. I'm Sam Paul. Get off the horse. Throw your gun down." He said, "No, I'm not going to hang." He hollered at him again. He said, "Get off the horse. You're under arrest, or I'll blow you off the horse. I'll shoot you off the horse." The next time, he says, "Get off the horse. You're under arrest." And he almost answered him, except the shotgun went off. And he went off the horse, and he was arrested. He walked over there, and he put his hands up there, and he said, "Well, that's finished." He crossed his hand, just like he put him in a coffin. He said, "Well, that's taken care of. That's taken care of." All right. The job was done. The job was finished. Another time, a guy named Mackenzie came up to my grandfather, and he told him he had left, his wife had actually left him. Her name was Lucy. And he came up to him, and he said he was going to kill Sam Paul. And so he came up to Fred Waite, that was the one that rode with Billy the Kid. That was my cousin. He came up to his going away party, and he said he was going to kill Sam Paul. So Sam Paul came up to him, and he said, "I'm going to kill you." He said, "Either get off that horse and get to drinking and dancing and eating, or get out of here." So he pulled his gun. Sam shot him in the chest with his pistol. He fell off the horse. He walked over there and shot him 5 more times on the ground. He said, "That's finished. That's over with." It's over with.
He didn't like to argue, did he?
He didn't argue much. Number 22. Number 22. The story is over with. The tent peg in his temple. The woman took care of it. All right. Here we have some strong women at this time. We've got Deborah, and now what's this lady's name? Jael. All right, Jael. All right. 22, Brother Bill.
And then as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said to him, "Come, I will show you the man whom you seek."
It's already been taken care of.
It saved you the sweat. And when he went into her tent, there lay Sisera, hid the peg in his temple.
All right.
Right way to go.
At verse number 23, David.
So God subdued on that day Jabin, the king of Canaan, before the sons of Israel. And the hand of the sons of Israel pressed heavier and heavier upon Jabin, the king of Canaan, until they had destroyed Jabin, the king of Canaan.
All right. Now here we have the story. Now in the 6th chapter, let's jump over to the 6th chapter. Now the next one is the song of Deborah, all right, where she sings and she praises God. And then I want you to go to 5. First of all, before we go to 6, go to 5, 9, and 10. 5, 9, and 10. And I want you to read that, and I want you to tell me now why there's a discrepancy. 5, 9, and 10. All right? Dr. John.
9. My heart is with the rulers of Israel, who offered themselves willingly with the people. Bless the Lord.
Okay, number 8. I'm sorry.
They arose, they chose new gods. Then there was war in the gates. Now a shield or spear was among 40,000 in Israel.
All right, look at that. There was 40,000 of them there. Only 10,000 of them were armed, weren't they? Only 10,000 were armed. Okay, 9 and 10, Brother John.
My heart is with the rulers of Israel, who offered themselves willingly with the people. Bless the Lord. Speak you who ride on white donkeys, who sit in judges' attire, and who walk along the road.
Okay, we got 3 groups of people here that took part in this. We got people that were riding on white donkeys. Now, by the way, how many of you ever seen a white donkey? That's a pretty rare animal. Now, there are spotted donkeys. How many of you ever seen a spotted donkey? There are a few spotted donkeys, okay? Now, back in those times, it could be like a paint of white spots on it. It would be called a white donkey. If it was partially white, it would call a white donkey. Only rich people rode white donkeys. So some of these people were rich, and some of them were wealthy people sitting on rich carpets. And then it says, and some people were common man just walking by the way. They didn't have a donkey to ride on. So we got three groups of people that took part in this, okay? Three groups of people. We've got the rich. We got the people that were well saddled. All right, well heeled. They were driving fancy cars, Brother Bill. White donkey. And we've got people that are walking that don't have any transportation at all. All of these people, three classes of people went there. Now, 6. Now, chapter 6. All right. 6 and verse 11. We'll start into this. 6 and verse 11. All right. Gideon. Gideon. All right. Let's look over here and see. Now, we've jumped down here to Gideon. And 6:1 through 8:28. And what does Gideon mean? What does Gideon mean? Remember what it means? Huh? Brother Mike, you know what it means, don't you? Woodcutter. This is a lumberjack. Gideon's a lumberjack. He's a what was that famous lumberjack, mythical lumberjack? Paul Bunyan. All right, and Paul Bunyan had a blue ox named what? Babe. All right, here we have the Paul Bunyan of his day now. We have Gideon here. All right? And then verse number 11. Let's look at this. Dr. John. 6 and verse 11.
I'm writing notes here.
Oh, well.
Nope, 6 and 11, I can do it.
Okay.
Now the angel of the Lord came and
All
said
right.
unto-
The angel. By the way, this angel of the Lord is Jehovah himself. The angel of the Lord here is Jehovah. He's called the angel of the Lord time. This is Jehovah himself that visited Gideon. Sister Andino.
So every time that we see the angel of the Lord,
No. There are specific times. All right. It could be an angel from the Lord, but this angel of the Lord here, this is Jehovah. All right. This is Jehovah himself. All right. This is Jehovah himself. All right, Dr. John. Let's go on.
came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Oprah, which belonged to Joash the Abezrite, while his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from the Midianites.
All right. Here we go. Now, the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, "The Lord is with you, O valiant warrior." Valiant warrior. Now, I don't know whether he's too valiant yet or not, but he calls him a valiant warrior. Has anybody ever called you names? Huh? When they call you derogatory names, it kind of makes you feel bad, doesn't it? Calls you bad names and says bad things to you. But when somebody gives you a good, just walks up, especially the angel of the Lord, and calls you a valiant warrior. Now he's hiding here and threshing wheat. Doesn't sound too valiant, does he? All right. But God is going to make him a valiant warrior. That's what this is prophecy. All right. He's going to be a valiant warrior. All right. Then Gideon said to him, "O my Lord." All right. "Oh my Lord, if the Lord is with us, if. Look at that. You see how many ifs are in here? Now, if the angel of the Lord appeared to you, Brother David, what do you think about it? Right off the bat, you think it's pretty important? How many times has the angel of the Lord ever appeared to you? Anybody over here ever seen the angel of the Lord? It's a pretty important event right here. All right? All right. And then he called you, "O valiant warrior." O valiant warrior. Isn't that nice? O valiant warrior. He's going to be. And then he says, "Oh my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why, if and why?" Look at this, if and why. Why then has all this happened to us? If the Lord is with us. Now, what is the story? Why did all this happen to them? they sinned. They kept on sinning. Every time they kept on sinning. First of all, God told them to get all these Canaanites out of the land. Did they finish the job? No. They didn't finish the job. They just didn't do it. Why? Now, why didn't they get these people out of the land? Why hadn't they run them off? Greed got in the way, didn't it? Greed got in the way. They had made them servants to begin with. And they made covenants with them. Contracts, barith. They made covenants with them and they were getting taxes from them. And God said, don't make any covenants with these people. You make covenants with these people and what are they going to be? They're going to be thorns in your side. And when they let them stay there, then what happened? They took taxes, they took money, tribute from them. The shoe was put on the other foot. All right? And now, since they had done this and they had sinned, they disobeyed God. Why are they having trouble over there in Israel today? They're having trouble in the same places that they had trouble right here. Why? Because these people sinned back then, and their children and great-grandchildren are recipients of that. Same bad decisions that they made back then. All right. Well, that's where we're going to finish. Right there, and we're going to come back next week. All right? Where was the last verse? 6 and what?
11.
6 and verse 11. All right.
13.
I have a question, Jan.
Yes.
If they wanted to communicate with 40,000 people, how did they do that in those days?
They called them out. They called them, and yes, the heads of the families would get everybody together when they would come on. They would go to the heads of the families, and the heads of the family would call the families in.
Flags or arrows or something
Yeah.
like that.
They didn't have radio stations.
Well, they blew horns. They called them in. They had certain signs that they would call people in, and so they gathered all these people together. All right. Any other questions? I forgot to ask you questions. Any questions? None? No more? All right. Brother David.
What I got real
Yeah.
quick, Jim.
Yeah.
There, back there when you was reading in 5, it says they chose no God. What do they mean by they chose no God?
Those people had chosen different gods. And Israel was bowing down and serving different gods. Because they left the people in the land, their gods rubbed off on them. All right? All right. Go ahead, Brother David.
Okay, on our prayer list today, Bill would like to lift up praises that he got his letter from the